Assalamualaikum and good day everyone. So we are going to present to you about Italian cuisine. Our group consists of 3 members, which is Hariato Hazira, Nur Farha and Muiza Nawara.
I will go through with the introduction. Since Italy, formed by unity several city-states and cultures, the history of Italian food can be more complex. Each region in Italy has its own culture with distinct food, traditions and specialties. While some of these distinctions have faded over time, many food traditions still differentiate regions. Traditional Italian cuisine developed over millennia, influenced by the cuisine of the ancient Greeks and Romans, and by the contributions of Byzantine, Jewish, and Arab traditions. With the discovery of the New World, novel ingredients were introduced. Among them are potatoes, tomatoes, peppers, and corn, which have adapted to the Italian territory in multiple native varieties. Recipes have been created and handed down over the centuries mainly by female wisdom and resourcefulness, favoring local and seasonal products.
To continue this presentation with the history of the Italian Western cuisine origin. So Italy is a very young country as a whole. So in 1891, the Kingdom of Italy was established by the union of many exciting city-states, because not everyone was happy with this idea of unification. So the process took a long time. So Italy became fully united in 1871 when the official capital moved from Florence to Rome. So after World War II, the republic that we know today arose because Italy was established by the amalgamation of various city-state and civilization. The history of the Italian cuisine can be complicated. So each Italian area has its own culture with distinct culinary tradition and specialties. While some of these characteristics have vanished with the passage of time, many cuisine traditions continue to distinguish area. The recipes made by each location, as well as the availability of the ingredients, were influenced by the variety of external variables. So in a many ways, Arabic culture influenced Italy and helped define Italian cuisine. Italy began to add more variety and diversity to their recipe when other cultures introduced new products and spices from the New World to Italy. So today, in general, Italian dish are straightforward with 2 to 4 main ingredients. So in general, today's Italian recipe are very straightforward and also very simple with the 2 to 4 main ingredients.
For your information, since the early Middle Ages, Italy has been divided into numerous republics, each with its own culinary traditions. These diverse culinary traditions, which were passed down from generation to generation, led into the richness of Italian food. Italy's surrounding countries such as French, Austria, and Yugoslavia also influenced the country's cuisine. The climates of northern and southern Italy are significantly different. The weather in south is quite warm, whilst the weather in north is frigid for most of the year. Dry pasta such as spaghetti and rigatoni is more common in the south, since it is easier to dry pasta in hot temperatures. Because dry pasta is more difficult in the north, fresh pasta such as pappardelle and tagliatelle are more widespread. Stuffed pastas such as ravioli are also popular in the north. The varieties of food and plants that thrive in Italy are also influenced by the climate. Some plants, such as olive trees, thrive in warm temperatures. Olive trees do not grow well in chilly northern climate. In the south, olive oil is utilized, but in the north, butter and lard are substitute for olive oil. Because of Parma's gradually sloping hills and steady dry air, it is a great place for curing and maturing pork delicacies like prosciutto di Parma. The temperature in southern Italy is ideal for producing vegetables and chilies that thrive in hot climates. The northern mountainous area serves robust, meaty food. The Veneto's coastal lowlands produce mussels and clams, and the inner lands and canals provide a diverse range of freshwater fish, as well as ducks and other wild birds. A southern dinner isn't complete without pasta, but the north enjoys gnocchi and risotto and polenta dishes. The summers in central Italy are hotter and longer than those in north, thus tomato-based meals are more prevalent. At the same time, the winters are frigid inland, allowing the cultivation of leafy vegetables that thrive after frost, such as black-leaf kale. Though there are braised meats and stew, the centerpiece of a traditional holiday fest in the most of central Italy will be a platter of meats, grilled or roasted meats, including fowl, pork, or beef, especially in Tuscany, where the legendary Chianina cattle roam the fields. In Lazio, however, the platter will most certainly include lamb, which may also be included in the Umbria and Marche tables. Central Italy also has a long specialty farming legacy, with many crops that are difficult to get elsewhere, such as farro and Asian grail developed by the Romans, and saffron, whose characteristic sharpness enhanced many meals significantly. The area, which is nearly exclusively hilly or mountainous, also has a large chestnut stands on the highest slopes. Chestnut were once one of the poor specific meals. Last but not least, more Greek and Arabic influences may be found in the sun-drenched sauce, with cuisine that features aromatic olive oil and numerous types of fresh and dried tomatoes laced with fury peppers and seasoned with basil and oregano. Historically, the sauce have been recognized for shepherding and lamb and kid play a far larger role in their cuisine than they do in the rest of Italy. Many coastal locations are dominated by fish. Sicilians disguise their cuisine by using citrus, raisins, almonds, and extraordinary spices. The Spaniards' influence may be traced across the south, as well as in Milan and Sardinia, where they formerly ranged. I'm going to inform you about 12 popular culinary components and flavorings. First and foremost, extra virgin olive oil. Although olive oil is frequently used in cooking, higher grade extra virgin olive oil is used as a garnish to impart a peppery flavor. It is also used as a dip for Italian bread such as focaccia and as a salad dressing. Balsamic vinegar comes next. True balsamic vinegar is made in Italy, Modena or Emilia-Romagna regions. This black-aged vinegar is used in marinades and salad dressing. Also, garlic. Garlic is a popular ingredient all around the country, especially when sautéed in olive oil to make a tasty culinary base. Next, pasta. Pasta is made with a combination of flour, eggs, olive oil, water, and salt. There are several kinds based on its form and locations of origin. Spaghetti, penne, tagliatelle, fettuccine, and pappardelle are all popular forms. Moreover, pasta sauce, thick marinara, pomodoro, bolognese, and pesto sauces are eaten with pasta, fish, or as a spread on a bread. Next, fresh tomatoes. Brought to Italy in the 16th century, Italians first thought tomatoes were poisonous. Now they are the heart of Italian cuisine. Oregano. Dry oregano leaves impart an earthy taste to marinara sauce, pizza, salad dressing, and grilled meats. Next, chapers. Chaperi are pickled Flinders rose bush flower buds. These little salty green herbs are commonly used in Mediterranean cuisine such as chicken piccata and puttanesca sauce. More, porcini mushroom. Porcini mushroom, either fresh or dried, are used to risotto sauces or stewed in a wine sauce to provide texture to a meal. Basil is up next. Basil is a fragrant green herb with a smoky, minty flavor that is the most commonly used herb in Italian cookery. Basil is a popular component in tomato sauce, capri salad, and pesto sauce. More, Italian cheese. Italian cheese variants were made by the ancient Romans by aging and smoking them. Hard cheeses have a gritty texture and are shaved or grated over salads or pasta. A soft cheese such as mozzarella is used to melt over dishes such as lasagna and pizza. For many people, Italy is linked with wine. Wine has undoubtedly been a part of Italian cultures in the peninsula was inhabited by the ancient Greeks. Italians drink wine and use it to simmer meat dishes and add flavor to red sauces.
Is cooking method that Italians mostly use to cook their dishes. So for the first one is the pan roast. It's cooking some part of the way in a pan over direct heat, and then moving that pan into an oven to finish the cooking. The next one is the oven roast. So what is the oven roast? So it's just like roasting, like baking, and it's a method of cooking that use hot and dry air to cook food in the oven, but at a higher temperature. Roasting is typically used for food with a solid structure such as a vegetable and meat. The next one is sauté. So what is sauté? Sauté is to cook food quickly in a minimal amount of fat or oil over relatively high heat. What is braise actually? So braise is the cooking of meat or vegetable by heating them slowly with oil and moisture in a tightly sealed vessel. The next cooking method is broil. So broil or broiling, use only the upper heating element in your oven, applying the high temperature to the top of the dishes for fast flavor. So use this method to cook and crisp delicate foods or brown the top of already cooked dish. Or grilling is a form of cooking that involves dry heat applied to the surface of food, commonly from above, below, or from the side. Grilling usually involves a significant amount of direct radiant heat and tend to be used for cooking meat and vegetable quickly. The next cooking method is pan-sear. Sear is a technique that released on high temperature to add delicious texture on the outside of meat, fish, or vegetable. So for the next cooking method is simmer. To simmer is food preparation technique by which food are cooked in hot liquid, keep just below the boiling point of water and above posting temperature higher than 71 to 80 degrees Celsius. To create a steady simmer, a liquid is brought to a boil, then its heat source is reduced to a lower constant temperature. So the last one, bake or baking. So what does baking means in Italian cuisine? So bake or baking is a process of cooking by dry heat, and especially in some kind of oven. It's probably oldest cooking method. Okay, so we can use this to do some like a bread, rolls, cookies, pies, pastry, muffin. And in Italian cuisine, like a lasagna, this dish use this method to cook the lasagna.
Italy is made up of 20 different regions, each with its own culinary traditions. And though the country is relatively small, the difference in the food from one region to the next is extraordinary. First, we're gonna tour the northern Italy. For example, tends to rely more on dairy products such as butter, cream, and cow's milk cheese because the land is flatter and better suited to raising cattle. Northern Italy produce creamy, rich cheese such as mascarpone and gorgonzola from Lombardy, Fontina from Val d'Aosta, and Pereggio from the Veneto. The region of Emilia-Romagna, whose capital in Bologna, is known for its homemade egg pasta, and what is considered by many to be the king of Italian cheese is Parmigiano Reggiano. It's also a region famous for prosciutto di Parma, as well as countless other exquisite sausages and cured meats. Next, we're going to go through with the central Italy. The food becomes hearty with the wonderful bean soups of Tuscany and the savory roasted meats of Umbria and Abruzzi, where lamb, wild boar, and game can be more prevalent than pork, beef, and veal. Zuppa di Fagioli, it is Tuscan bean and barley soup, which is a typical food of the region in central Italy. Okay, as we can see in southern Italy, there's more reliance on olive oil than butter, and the cheeses used are more likely to be made from sheep's milk. The further south one goes, the less affluent the population is. Hence, you will find fewer fancy ingredients, a more sparing use of meat, and a greater reliance on local seasonal foods. Sicilian and Sardinian cooking are not heavy, as it often thought. They are delicate, like fragrant dishes like risotto alle vongole. It is risotto with clams that emphasize the flavors of the fresh ingredients and seafood with which they are blessed.
For this part is the general characteristic of the Italian cuisine. So for the first is the simplicity, means that most of traditional food in Italy are very simple. So it usually consists of only a few ingredients. So most traditional dishes in Italy even consists of only 3 men. But despite the simplicity, Italy makes sure that their food also is packed with flavors that complement to your taste bud. Italy believe that less is more, especially when it comes to their food. So the next one is the freshness of the ingredient. So in Italy, despite of aside from a simple food, Italian cuisine also use all the fresh ingredients. Most Italian have their garden of herbs and spice, and even a vegetable patch on their property in the home cooking. Italians love to pick their ingredients straight forward from their backyard. This way, they can ensure that they will only use the fresh ingredient into their dish. So the third one is the use of tomato. So Italy produces many tomatoes every year. So and they put them into a good use by making them the primary ingredient of many dishes. Italy has 300 different types of tomato available, and each type gives a unique taste. So tomatoes in Italian they use for sauce, soup, salad, pasta, pizza, and many more. And it may be the most famous characteristic of the Italian cuisine that is known everywhere. Next one is the love for cheese. So who else loves cheese more than the Italian? The best cheese in the world originated in Italy, from the well-loved mozzarella to the mascarpone, risotto, burrata, and many more. Wherever you are in the world, you probably enjoy consuming this cheese, especially when added to the dish. It is why Italians love to add cheese into their dishes. One is the long generation of food tradition. Italians do not want to revise their traditional food recipe. Instead, each region boasts the flavor that they pass down from generation to generation. So how Italian food tastes many years ago, and it's still how it tastes today. So the next general characteristic of Italian cuisine is the herbs and spice on every dish. And spice are one of the mainstay ingredients of every Italian dish. Italians love to put herbs and spice in their dishes because they have the best aromas globally, thanks to the wide variety of the herbs and spice they use for their food. So the next one is the authenticity. the Italians have already established the authentic food culture, so other food culture throughout the globe do not easily influence them. Italians are different. They continue to offer the authentic recipe of their cuisine crafted by the ancestors many decades ago. It is also what makes Italian food different from other food culture. Last one is the healthy dishes. So Italian cuisine is known to be one of the healthiest food in the world, because Italians make sure that they only use a fresh and quality ingredient in their dish and to become naturally healthy. So the choice of the ingredient is also a massive factor in why their food is healthy. So for instance, Italians use olive oil on their dish most of the time, and olive oil is also known to have benefit compared to other oils available. So
in conclusion, the most popular dishes and recipes over the centuries have often been created by ordinary people more so than by chefs, which is why many Italian recipes are suitable for home and daily cooking, respecting regional specificities, privileging only raw materials and ingredients from the region of origin of the dish and preserving its sensationality.